It's the K.L.P. Aftermath.
Get ready.
What's up, y'all? This is Nicki Minaj.
Yo, what's cracking like this? Big Snoop Deal Double G.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy J.
Radio.
We're taking over the radio.
You're locked in with
K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
It's going down. It's crazy.
What's up, y'all? This is Beyonce, and you listening to my station.
Powered by the Core 94.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. This is, of course, the K.L.P. Aftermath with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Welcome back to the podcast for sure. Hopefully you guys are ready for another exciting one. I know that I am extremely ready for this podcast because you know how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. We are back into the studio. And of course, we like to do our recording sessions live, on the audio version of the podcast nightly. We do it nightly. And then, of course, we do the recording session that following day. So I do want to welcome everyone to the podcast. I wanted to thank everyone for this podcast and keeping us going, because when it comes to audio platforms, you guys keep us going. And that's why we continue to do these episodes. We continue to stay committed to the podcast side of K.L.P. Entertainment, because it's one of those things that we work really hard for. We set up, and we have producers here in the studio. Tyrus, his special seat over there, he's making sure we look good. We got the lights with the computers here in the studio. So I have to thank you guys for keeping us on our toes, keeping us with the podcast, because I really love doing this. I enjoy doing this for sure. Of course, I did get quite a few notice yesterday. Today, actually. It'll be yesterday by the time you see the video version. But today, I was out, in the Emory offices. A lot of people love my outfit today. I got the nice black shirt on. And of course, I came into the studio. Tyra was like, okay, I'm digging the shirt. I had the scarf on. We in the studio, I had to take the scarf off because it gets really warm in the studio, which is great because it is still winter time. So I do advocate to people, if you are still rocking outside, and make sure you keep your house warm and inside. Of course, whether it's your studio, whether it's your home. At my house, I have it to about, I want to say 74 T. I keep it warm because, it's getting cold, and, you don't want to get cold out here in your home, in your studio, because actually that's how you're ending up getting sick. So my public service announcement for today, make sure you keep your area nice and warm so you don't get sick. Not too warm to where you get hot, because I'm a hot breed. Everyone asks me, when I sleep at night, do I ever get hot? Do I sleep with all the covers? Do I sleep with my clothes off? Do I sleep with my clothes on? The answer to that, and I'm very transparent on the show, honestly, T, it can get a little warm. So I have to not sleep with all the covers. So, this is how my sleeping preference. Everyone has their own sleeping habits or their sleeping ways. Comment below, what do you do for your nightly routine as you get ready for sleep? I always got to, of course, take a shower, brush my teeth, get ready for bed, and then I have a glass of water to my bedside table, because during the night, and we all know, we've seen the meme, that cartoon of 3 a.m. It says nobody, 3 a.m. at bedside table with a big giant gallon of water. So I don't know why we get so dehydrated around that time, but I really do. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes I'm fast asleep. And those are the good nights, when you're fast asleep and you're able to get that good sleep. But when you're getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and you're dehydrated, you're thirsty, maybe it's the heat, maybe it's rough sleeping, maybe you didn't shower well, maybe you didn't brush your teeth 100% well last night. Comment below. I like to hear you guys' story. A lot of people tweet their stories about me because they hear the show and then they tweet me of what they do or whatever the topic is for conversation from the podcast that day. So comment below. Now we're going to get to the juiciness of it, of course. But before we do that, if you guys haven't seen it yet, of course, K.L.P. Tonight is back. We uploaded a Saturday's episode that is available right now on demand for YouTube, Dailymotion, and all of our audio platforms. And of course, Vox TV channel has been doing really, really well. If you guys don't know what Vox TV is, that is our streaming service, our streaming show, production, broadcast show. We bring you guys all the stories, all the news, all the podcasts forming into one, and that will be also available on all video platforms like Dailymotion, well, not Dailymotion, YouTube, Spotify Video, and also it kind of forms an audio version for Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, and so much more. So dabble into Vox TV because it's one of those things that you do not want to skim out on. Vox TV channel by K.L.P Entertainment. Now let's get on to the juiciness of it. I wanted to talk about this conversation, this thing that happened, because this really, like I say, this is today, in today's society, there's a lot of crazy people out there. And I wanted to express this story because this is the story that, of course, I know, and Tyra said, they don't know who you are. He's laughing right now. They don't know who I am, but I do, on my lunch break, I do pop over my computer to YouTube and I watch trending videos that I've subscribed to. And of course, them people over there at the Breakfast Club, they do some great stories. I'm sorry, I can't help it. They do some really, really great stories. I really like it when Charlamagne the God does his Donkey of the Day because, first of all, I like to hear his story, but then I like to do my own take from that. So hopefully one day they will hear the show. Maybe they'll have me on the Breakfast Club one day. One day. But I got to shout out to the Breakfast Club because they did a Donkey of the Day, of course. Now it's been said, of course, there was a woman who was out there in Texas, offered to buy children. Of course, it's been rumored that she's been carrying about almost $500,000 and going to random people in the parking lot and offer to buy their kids. They did a story about it, and it's been, DJ Envy said something along the lines, and I'm sure he was joking. A lot of people like, oh, he said that. No, he's joking. When your kids get on your nerves, you think about selling them, and I'm pretty sure my parents thought about selling us when we got on their nerves, but you really don't do it. You don't sell your kids. It's a joke that they did. But the woman out there, she was actually out there trying to buy kids. So she goes up to these people and they say, hey, I think your kid is a perfect fit. I like to offer to buy your kid from you. That is the wildest thing. And that's the wildest thing that I've ever heard that happened. But that's the wildest thing because it's one of those, it's crazy that you're offered to pay $500,000 for a human life. I listened to the Donkey of the Day from Charlamagne the God at the Breakfast Club, and that blew my mind too, because people are actually out here getting ready and trying to buy kids from each other. And it's one of those things that it blew my mind when I read that, of course. Now, she did get charged. It is against the law. That's a third-degree felony if you offer to buy kids from somebody. So if you're out there and you're crazy, don't do it. Don't try to buy kids from other people. Honestly, if she really wanted a kid, what she could have done is because there's a lot of adoption, I don't want to say company T, that's not the right word for it, but a lot of adoption places out there in the world where you can go and adopt a kid. Honestly, that should have been the route she goes if she really wanted a kid. DJ even said that, is she building something from these kids, or she's killing these kids and eating these kids? I don't know. It's just one of those things. It was a weird story. Honestly, if she really wanted a kid, I would say go out and adopt a kid, save a kid's life. Because let me tell you, I don't know so much about adoptions and foster kids and them being in the system. I don't know much about that because I haven't experienced it ever, actually. But it's better to go out and adopt a kid because you're saving that kid's life. These kids out here in the universe, their parents give them up, and that's a sad occasion. And it's not just sad what you see on TV. And The Fosters is kind of a good example from ABC's network. The Fosters, that's a good show, by the way. But it's a little bit more complex than that in the real world. Of course, they fabricated some things for the show, but there's a lot of things that goes into that with adoption and foster kids out there in the universe. So this woman should have made it to where she adopted a kid out there. I don't know what she was thinking. She did get charged. She did get, I want to say, Charlamagne said it, a $10,000 fine and 2 years in prison or jail time, because that's a third-degree felony. That's a felony that's on her record as well. So, it's crazy. People are out here, they're trying to buy these kids, and hopefully parents out there knows about the craziness of it, and hopefully they don't sell their kids, because that is also wrong. you will be looked at really, really wrong for that. So it's a crazy experience. Of course, Charlemagne named her Donkey of the Day. I thought it would be a great thing to talk about here on the show because it's one of those things that it's out there, it's real, they're doing it. Of course, more news is coming from the beauty side of things. And, I have friends that tell me that I should do this. I've never have gotten a pedicure or a manicure, but a lot of friends of mine tell me that I should get a manicure or pedicure because it feels great. A lot of people think men don't get manicure or men don't get pedicure because some guys out there, they think that it's against the man code. Some guys think that it's gay to go out and get a manicure and pedicure. I say to those guys out there, if you are like that, grow up, first of all. Second of all, it's nothing wrong for fellas to go out there and get a manicure and pedicure because honestly, they're taking care of their bodies. So I do want to try this one day. I personally, for me, I'm a little ticklish. I feel bad because, I'm a very ticklish man. If someone's touching my feet, I'm laughing like I'm laughing because I am very, very extremely ticklish. So that's why I haven't gone out to get a manicure and pedicure. But again, for those guys who think it's gay, or for those guys that think it's unmanly to go and get a manicure and pedicure, let me tell you, I know this is a PG show, Tyrus, and I'm gonna make sure I keep it PG. But if you're out there with your girlfriend or vice versa, if you are a girl listening to the show, you're out with your boyfriend and you want to take your boyfriend out or your girlfriend, whatever your situation is, out to get a manicure and pedicure, that is the best way to get bonding time within the two couples. Going out to get manicures and pedicures out there, you're spending time with your significant other. So that's just how the way I see it. My future girlfriend, because I'm still single out here. My future girlfriend, if she wants to take me out to get a manicure or you, I'm going with her because that's a bonding experience, and that's something I've never done before. So, just to say, if you are fellows guys out there to get manicures and pedicures, again, don't feel bad, don't feel unmanly. It's something that you do to take care of your body. Honestly, fellas out there that do that, that's good because they're taking care of their bodies. They care about their hygiene. So that's just, Of course, the story is, would you get a robot manicure? 3 Ways Technology is changing the beauty industry. You guys know beauty is the billion-dollar company. I have quite a few friends, family members that dabble in beauty. I kind of dabble in beauty, a little bit more of fashion, but I guess you can count that as beauty, I guess. Of course, it sounds like something is out of the Jetsons, of course, but the robots are making a play for the multi-billion-dollar beauty business with lash extensions, manicures, and even hairstyling getting a futuristic makeover. While the robotics startup Loom is still in the crowdfunding phase. This is a crowdfunding. This is not out there in real yet. I know there's a lot of testing to go along with this. They started accepting customers in Oakland, California to test their lash extensions technology. Laura Pachop, who recently tried the service, said she was pleasantly surprised by the experience. This is a sad occasion though, and let me tell you why it's sad, T, and audience. Let me tell you why this is sad, because I have quite a few friends that do makeup for a living. I have quite a few girlfriends and guy friends that dabble in beauty, whether it's getting a haircut, doing their hair, doing their extensions, doing their makeup, or they're selling their makeup and they're doing it on there. This robotics and technology is taking over even in the beauty industry, because you have these people out there that do people's hair and charge a good rate to do people's hair. Back in the day, I used to go to the barber shop every 2 weeks to get a haircut. I'm growing my hair out because I'm starting to get my curls back. But people, that was their jobs, right? And now technology is taking over their jobs. Just like the same instance when you go to Walmart or Kroger and they have the self-checkout and you scan your stuff and the machine does it for you. They're coming for that beauty industry too. So we living in a world where most of us ain't gonna have no job no more, because technology will be taking over everything. So we still have a long ways to go. I'm not saying that this is gonna be happening for next week. We got a long way to go, but sooner or later, technology will be taking over our industry when it comes to our jobs. Of course, the actual feeling of it reminding me of when my kids, in this article from Vicky Nguyen, when my kids were little and they gave They gave you butterfly kisses, she told Vicky, when the NBC News senior consumer investigative correspondent. Here's how it works. Of course, robots apply lash extensions for, in 30 minutes or less, a quarter of the time it takes a human counterpart. Again, they coming for our jobs, man. They are coming for our jobs. So everyone who's in the hair industry and you do hair, get it in while you can, because 30 minutes or less to do lash extensions. And, I have a lot of female friends and they tell me how long it takes. It takes a very long process. So I get it. So after her robot encounter, Pichat told Today that the results was pretty similar to what she sees when a human began applying the lashes, and she enjoyed how effective the machine was. Of course, this is a quote. She says, "Of course, it is so persistent and small. It made sense to me right away that the robot could really be really good at it." Of course. So Loom is doing something here. Their technology is getting more advanced out there. It is scary, but it's cool, but it's scary because these jobs are going in. Of course, there's more news from this article. Robots are also tapped into the nail business with advanced technology like the clockwork manicure that uses a 3D camera and paint a full set of nails in 10 minutes. Of course, that's just 30 to 40 seconds per nail. For now, the Robot Mani is only available in San Francisco and at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, that's in New York City, which costs $8 for the basic service and $10 if you want a top coat. That's good business. This would be something cool and I wonder how much this machine costs. This machine probably costs a lot, but this would be good to invest into the machine and then offer this in Atlanta. Could you imagine here in Atlanta, where I know quite a few models, right? There's a lot of models that I follow on Instagram that I even shot camera wise for a photo shoot, or I shot for my 2 documentaries. And could you imagine taking this to a fashion show and say, hey, use my service to repaint your nails for the fashion shoot or the fashion show? Could you imagine if we had this kind of technology right here in Atlanta to where people can go out and use a machine to paint their nails? This will be a huge market for us here in Atlanta. Of course, Clockwork founder and CEO Renuka Ipti said the service is a bit different than your typical manicure, comparing it to fast casual restaurant versus a sit-down restaurant. Of course, a nail salon is more about the pampering and the luxury and the intricate nail art and really the humans' interactions. Again, that's one of the things that technology's here, right? A lot of people want to invest in technology, but now a lot of people are starting to understand that it's important to have human-to-human reactions. I like human reactions because it just there's a difference between you operating a machine and getting your service versus an actual human interaction where you're talking to somebody about nail art, you're talking to somebody about fashion and how hair is the multi-billion-dollar business and different styles and different stylists. So that interaction that you're having with that human counterpart, you can't really pass that up. So I'm very interested to see how the future of this will roll and how effective this will be in the markets in the future. These companies got a long way to go with this, but we're getting kind of close. For people to understand this technology, of course. Now, the next news, of course, here on the K.L.P Aftermath Season 2, this is January 25th and 26th, because the video comes out later. Of course, January Season 2, we're getting ready for February. A lot of great things are coming out for February. I do want to point out real quick to you, and I know this is a shameless plug, I'm sorry, but of course, Swanky Aura, of course, Terry Magic, Alonzo Ramon, myself, William Richardson, we've been making music for Swanky Records, but finally, our new album, Interstellar Plus Coffee, will be out, of course, February 12th, 2022, to Tidal, Apple Music, and Shazam. I wanted to plug that out because my guys that's listening, you guys know who you are. We made the album, and we're tapping into a bigger market, and I'm stoked. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored about it. I'm very, very excited about it. And, to be on those platforms really, really hits wonders. So I really do hope in February, when the album comes out, Saturday, February 12th, you guys will listen to it and enjoy it. Of course, Coffee was a 2021 album we had last year, but we're bringing it back for those big platforms. So just had to plug that up, T. I'm sorry. That's just something I had to do. All right. Now on to more news here. K.L.P. Aftermath Season 2. With yours, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Of course, Facebook plans to offer free internet in developing countries, ended up costing users. Of course, this is reporting for the Wall Street Journal. Of course, Facebook partners and mobile carriers in developing countries like Indonesia, the Philippines, and Pakistan to give users free access to Facebook with a few other websites. But users have been knowingly getting charged by their cellular providers, according to the report from the Wall Street Journal. The service called Free Basic is offered by Meta Connectivity, formerly Facebook Connectivity. I'm still going to call it Facebook Connectivity. I'm not sold on the new Facebook name yet. And it's supposed to provide users with access to communication tools, health information, education research, and a low bandwidth service at no charge. The program has been around since 2013 and as of last October, it serves more than 3 million people. This is a great move for Facebook to give developing countries access to internet. I think a lot of developing countries out there in the world need access to internet for news, health related things, and education. That's one of those things that, K.L.P. Entertainment, I wish we could invest in stuff like this to give back to countries around the world, to help countries in education. I'm always going to be an advocate for education. I'm always going to preach to people that education is the cornerstone of your human mind and your human body. I think everyone should be able to have access to education, but a lot of people don't have access to education. Education is expensive. You have to pay for it. So not everyone can pay for education. So I say to people here in Atlanta, if you have the opportunity to invest yourself in education, get your education. I got my bachelor's in business. The greatest thing that I've ever done. And them student loans are there. I'm gonna be very honest for y'all, especially my Oxford Emory University people, or Emory University in Atlanta, or Emory University in Swanee. Them loans will hit. I get it. But you got to think about it from this. You're getting that great education. And of course, in fall, planning on going back for my master's. So like I say, public service announcement. If you have the option to get your education, I recommend everyone go out there and try to find ways to get their education. The internal report reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, Facebook reportedly knew users were getting charged to use the free basic. You can't say something is free and you charge somebody for it. Come on, Facebook. You can't sit there and say, oh, I'm gonna give you this for free, and then, oh, I'm also charging for this free service. Like, that don't make sense. For months, and it caused the issue of leakage, as it occurs when paid service start overlapping in what's free. And since more than users the program serves are on a prepaid phone plans, made of them don't realize they've been giving charge for using mobile data until they run out of funds. Of course, the Wall Street Journal notes that users in Pakistan have been charged the most for using Facebook's free internet at a total of $1.9 million, and around 24 additional nations are also affected. Again, Facebook, I don't know. You can't say that something's free and then you ended up charging people for it. Facebook, and this is kind of a scary thing. This is a good thing, but it's a scary thing too. I saw something on the ad today, actually, in the office, that it was an advertisement that some companies are giving away free phone plans. Be careful about how you do that, especially with American companies, because honestly, and I'll say this because on the show, we're very transparent. I think companies that offer you a free phone plan, be careful, read the contract, because I think when companies try to offer you a free phone or a free phone plan, I think they're trying to spy on you. I've got computers in the office, and I think the government's spying on me right now. But it's just that thing. You gotta take it, because we need this technology to function our business, and we don't do obviously we don't do anything illegal. So when these companies are coming out and say, "Hey, here's a free phone plan," be careful. They might want your data. They might want to spy on you. So just redefine print before you sign the dotted line for this free service. Of course, the issue appears to stem from Facebook software and user-face UI with videos. With the root of the problem, videos aren't supposed to appear on Free Basic, but glitches in Facebook software let some slip through the cracks. Notifications that are supposed to inform the users that will be charged for watching videos also fail to appear. Videos do cost when you're trying to stream videos, especially when you try to download videos. I've tried to download videos on my phone, and AT&T charged me a lot of money for just doing that. So we try to limit that because that does cost. It costs a lot to stream video and to download video. It costs a lot. Trust us here at K.L.P. We know when we're putting up our videos, box TV, broadcast, that stuff costs. So just be careful. Of course, according to the documents viewed by the Wall Street Journal, Facebook found about 83% of unnecessary charges coming from these videos, which are that really aren't supposed to appear in the first place. So I don't know, Facebook. I mean, it's a nice niche thing. You know, you're trying to offer some free service to these third world countries. I think third world countries need access to internet to make themselves get educated as they become stronger nations. But you say it's free, but then there's glitches and people are doing something they're not supposed to do, and then now you're charging them for it. Now it makes you look bad. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that is one of those things that you just have to be careful for. If you are in America and you have these companies reaching out to you to give you a free phone plan, like I always say, please be careful. Read the contract before you sign anything, because honestly, I do believe that they're spying on people if you offer that free service like the free phone or a free phone plan. That's why I pay my plan and my phone, so I know I got that security and that privacy. So just a public service announcement. Next, before we sign off on today's show, of course, fantasy basketball. Of course, it is week 15 and Anthony Davis is set to return, and more NBA updates for week 15. Of course, welcome to week 15 of fantasy basketball season, where the NBA names Jose Alvarado and Kessler Edwards and even their old pal Ed Davis find themselves on the fantasy radar for one reason or another. Of course, schedule-wise, we're in the midst of strange trends. This past weekend, the league went light on Saturday, 3 games, before pilling up 11 games on Saturday. It is unclear that it was behind the decision to go directly up against the NFL division round. But of course, people around the world are pretty sure that the household turns up for the Bills and Chiefs. Snooze fest, fire up the Pistons and the Nuggets and the Nets. Of course, this week's slate is also a bit, some people say it's unorthodox. Of course, they had only 4 games on Monday, but for a much larger than usual 9-game Tuesday slate. Of course, things are back to normal, beginning with Wednesday's fully loaded 10 games. Good God. If you're investing in fantasy basketball and you got 10 games coming, there's a lot of things that you need to keep your eye out for. And this NBA season right now. But the NBA, I keep saying that, T. I'm speaking too fast, T. NBA once again goes heavy on Sunday with 16 teams in action. 16 teams. I don't think I can keep up, T. I don't think I can keep up with 16 teams. Unless if you're investing in these teams, that's a lot of teams for that. For fantasy managers in weekly lineups league, the day-to-day schedule does not mean as much. But for those in the daily lineup, formats should be extra vigilant, of course. Best of luck to everyone. This week 15, we're getting into it. I saw a lot of celebrities going to the games. Case in point, we saw on media. I didn't see them in person. That would have been cool. DJ Khaled and Drake went to the recent Miami Heat game, and they had a blast. So if you're into fantasy football, this week 15, I hope everyone placed their bets really, really well for that. I can't wait to see the update when it comes to week 15 and to see who are the winners. Hopefully, if you're investing in the 16 teams this week that's playing their games throughout the week, best of luck to you guys for sure, because fantasy basketball is cool. It's one of those things that you feel like you're investing fake money. I mean, DraftKings, you can invest real money and win real money. I just don't have money to just lose. But it's one of those things. So best of luck to everyone who is in the fantasy for week 15 for NBA. So that's going to wrap it up here on the show here today, the K.L.P Aftermath Podcast Season 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video version of the podcast if you're watching it on YouTube and Daily Motion and Spotify video. If you're listening to us on Audible, Amazon Music, and so much other audio platforms, thank you. Share it with your friends so that way they don't miss the current episode of K.L.P Aftermath. So that's going to wrap it up here. This has been your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. As always, I like to say, stay safe, drink water every 15 minutes, have that mask. COVID, Omicron is still out there and still trying to kill people. So please wear your mask. And as always, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas, stay safe, stay swanky.